So I'm a conservator with a crown. I will be the moderator for today. And today, this is the last day of the event. So if you hear my voice, please all come together in front of the stage so that we can discuss and understand a bit more. Because during these 2 days, we have been trying to understand about Gen S. And I guess everybody understand now that Gen S is sustainability, and that is to help each other build a sustainable living. In this section, it will be we have many panel talks. Sustainable is very related to us, whether it's about eating, living, and the last topic is about tourism. The low carbon tourism. How can we create a low carbon tourism? Today we'll find out that. And I'm not here alone. I have a lot of speakers from the government sector and also representatives from tourists who will be joining me on stage. So now I would like to welcome my speakers. There are 4 speakers together. First, please welcome Mr. Jirawadi Kunsap, Executive Director, Office of the Governor, Tourism Authority of Thailand, and from Sing Park, Thailand, Mr. Chawang Kongsap. And the third speaker, Chemtrail Provision, Mrs. Pavida Powell. And the last speaker, our influencer, Mr. Jesadaphon Phondi. Kuntik is not alone today. He has all his fan clubs with him. Hello, all 4 of you. And hello to all the audience. So today is very special. It's not very easy to get all honorable speakers here on stage together, whether it's the government sector, individual and private sector, and a true tourists. I would like to first start, may I call you all P? So first ask Tourism Authority of Thailand, as you are the representative. Once, if anybody look at Tourism Authority of Thailand, you represent Thailand tourism. Do you have a way to promote low carbon tourism? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I was so shocked by the screaming for Kuntik. As TAT, we work on tourism, which is low carbon sustainability. We have worked on this for about 30 years. At that time, low carbon did not exist yet. But we look at the global trend about tourists who wish to travel sustainably with low carbon is quite huge. 69% of tourists all over the world would like to travel sustainably in 2023. According to this trend, TAT came up with many activities to promote and educate tourists in Thailand and from overseas. You can see from many examples that the project that is responsible for supply side or tourists, that these would focus on people involved in the value chain for tourism to be concerned about the environment, especially for low carbon. So it means that we try to have tourists in Thailand to be aware of this, right? To know what low carbon is exactly. And we will talk about the projects that would allow tourists to join in. And next, for Sing Park, as a representative for tourism, we have a large area. Why do you want to change Sing Park to be a conservative tourist site? Actually, Sing Park started 30 years ago Our first intention was to make use of this area to grow barley for beer. People know that Sing Park is under the supervision of Bunrod Brewery, but it would not be a success by then. So we transformed the area so that we can live with the community, because over 6,800 acres has a lot of villages. What should we do so that we can live in harmony with people in the community? We grow rubber trees and oolong tea. These are the two plants we grow 30 years ago. And then we tested and grew some more plants. And we thought that we should give a chance for tourists to access our area with many events, sports events, music events, as well as in the farm we have restaurants, Thai restaurant, European restaurants, and in the evening we have bar beer for people to enjoy nature. Overall, we have green area of over 5,000 rai, and the rest was forest for conservation. So those who came to this area would think that it is the place where you can breathe in fresh air with the lowest carbon in Chiang Rai. The most recent event was marathon. People usually enjoy and explore nature in the marathon, right? We had a marathon in July. I myself joined in the marathon with my team. At first, I tried to speed up my running, but we found that there were lots of family groups. They enjoy the beautiful scenery without timing their running. So the executives thought that our activities should focus more on families so that families can spend time together in the area. Next year, we would like to have specific activities for family. So let's have an understanding that Sing Park started as the area for agriculture, but with a vast area for agriculture, how can we make the most of our area while conserving the environment? When you talk about marathon, let's talk to the base camp person. What is your inspiration for constructing the base camp? Base camp trail provision is in Chiang Mai.
When we established base camp, we started from, I used to do trail and jogging. And in the location of base camp trail hub is very close to the trail entrance, only 1 kilometer. So you can go for a short trail about 5 kilometers. Also, whether you're an athlete, adults, family, or if you have pets, you can take them along. It's a family activity. It's an activity that you can do in Chiang Mai province. And our uniqueness for the trail in Chiang Mai, anybody can do it. What is the inspiration? Is it from yourself because you like trailing? Actually, inspiration comes from myself and my husband and our family. We like to do trailing, and we wanted to have a space where we can lift things, leave our belongings, ask about the route, which are the tracks and the trails. So the base camp at the moment, we have been established for more than 7 years. So you have received great feedbacks. Yes, we receive great feedbacks from Thai and international tourists. So I still have so many questions and many things I would need to know from all the speakers. Next, who has never seen Navigator? I don't think so. Maybe there are some because it comes so early. Yeah, so for early birds, I would like to know, you yourself has turned to low carbon tourists. How did it started? Why did you like this kind of tourists? I would probably say that when we were young, we had different preference, and for me, I like nature, I like environment, and I love watching environment documentary. And my parents likes to take me out for a lot of environment kind of. We didn't have money to go to department stores to buy toys, so the only thing I get to go is to Khao Din Zoo or up country. And my dad worked for the irrigation, so he took me to the places for his project site. So I absorbed those nature passion, and I like environment. And so when I have the opportunity to travel, so I started from sites that is not too far, and then gradually expand my horizon. And then I started the program called Navigator. So as a media, when we present content, we have to ensure that the things we are presenting is accurate. So it's like a mix between adventure and interesting knowledge.
The word conservation came afterward, or how did you know that you are one of the conservative tourists? They come all together. We cannot know that we are a conservative tourist, but once we can touch this, we want the pictures that we see to stay, to remain forever, or to restore all this to be in nature forever. So that would be the step of what we want to manage. How and what can we do? Of course, what we can do is a good example for other people. Does he look handsome from his speech? Yeah. I myself feel quite nervous that you are the moderator. Oh, I'm even melting. I'm not sure if you just look at his face or listen to what he said. What is interesting is the beginning of being a conservative tourist, that we don't have to ask where it's starting from when, but it is part of living life, especially Pitik. Since his childhood, the cultivation of passion for the environment is a great inspiration. So let's go back to TAT. TAT nowadays have to go through a lot of generations. What are the challenges that can pass on the knowledge of low carbon to ordinary people? And what projects have you done so far? As TAT is the organization promoting tourism. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the trend for conservative tourism or sustainable tourism is a big hit. When you do a quick search on Google about sustainable tourism destination, Thailand is not among those countries yet. They are among the countries in Europe. So this is the challenge for TAT. What should we do? As Kuntik mentioned, we need the media. We need to convey the content to create knowledge and understanding of this. When this challenge happens, TAT came up with the project. We signed the MOU with different branches of media to educate people and Thai people to know about this. It is actually easy to do. The behavior each day, we have to adjust, reduce, and compensate for the behavior, for the change of behavior. And we campaign for the standard, for some kinds of standard for tourism entrepreneurs by having SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, which are adapted from the sustainable goals from UN. The entrepreneurs, once tourism entrepreneurs attend this program, they would be assessed on the level of promotion of sustainable tourism and reduction of low carbon with many KPIs. As you are tourists of TAT of Thailand, you should look for SDG to show that you participate in the conservation of resources for tourism. We also have the path for tourism in many paths that Pitik once visited, like 20 places for low carbon tourism, as Pitik did. As for culture or adventure tourism or health related tourism in 20 paths for tourism. We have come up with 20 tourism to meet the requirements nowadays. This can help, as Thailand is not equivalent to sustainable tourism. This can lift up Thailand to go even upper. Is it difficult? Because this is a new topic. When we talk about carbon credit or carbon footprint, people get confused. What does TAT do? It's actually not difficult, but it's not easy in terms of techniques. Carbon footprint, offset, there would be many technical terms. Don't worry about this. Just think about we have to use less plastic and we have to reuse plastic in everyday life. That means we have to change our behavior by reducing the use of something like the booth in front of these of GC. We have the commitment about what we can do, like tourism in the distance that is not too far away. We have many sky trains or carpools. These are the behavior that have been adjusted or changed. It's like the credit for making merit or making sins. The reduction of carbon for making merit. But for those who don't care, we would have the score for sins. That means that people have to care about and conserve the earth. When we talk about the reduction of carbon, this is the agenda because it has to do with the climate. It happens to everyone. There is no boundary of the fumes from Malaysia or Indonesia. The fumes from those countries will come to Thailand. So everyone has to work hand in hand to help with this in the reduction of carbon.
So it's very much like trying to simplify all the technical terms. So we're trying to say that today the world or global mission is to reduce carbon. But what is carbon? I mean, a lot of people probably try to question, but since you have just explained very easy, it's about the merit and sin. If you can help reduce carbon in your daily life, just simply maybe reduce plastic or work together in this event and donate all those recyclable materials. So eventually you will reduce your sin. So this is how we can help reduce carbon. So it's just understanding what it is. So this is what TAT is trying to build understanding, a very simplified understanding. I am trying to find people to understand with me. So since for Sing Park is such a vast space, how did it become a tourist attraction? And how come it doesn't become a challenge for you to look after such a big piece of land? Actually, it's very challenging because in this 800 rai, we have to look after the nature, we have to look after the neighborhood community. So what we did is we tried to create biodiversity in the nature. We have a lot of plants, we have fruit trees, we have flowers. So this attracts the tourists because they like the biodiversity. As for other challenges in the future would be the energy consumption. We are gradually trying to shift from to renewable energy. For example, if you go to Sing Park, you have like this car to take you for a farm tour, might be a tractor which use fossil fuel, but now we're gradually trying to shift to EV. We used to have ATV, Bucky, UTV, but we try to shift all this to EV. So regarding energy consumption, we started doing farm using fossil fuel pump, but now we try to use electric pumps. And many other products within the farm are planted in the farm. So instead of having the cost of buying those raw ingredients, we are using our own products to produce the food and the dishes in the park. So for example, the tea that we drink, Sing Park plant those trees, whether it's the Japanese tea or Chinese tea or Thai tea, which has become world-class beverage. So for this biodiversity and the business challenge, we try to diversify our business scope so that it would be inclusive and we are dependent in our own park.
อันนี้เป็นเพราะว่า
I have a question. Is it because you are a private sector that makes it easy for you to make a move when you want to change something? Is it the perspective of Sing Park? Partly, yes. The process of our thinking may not be so complicated. We have the pillars that we stick to. The concept of Sing Park is social enterprise. We have to make contributions to the society and we have to be independent. So for the projects, if they are the projects for contributions to the society can be done by ourselves, the management will give an approval immediately. So it's easy for the line of command. When we ask for a request of approval of the projects, this is part of the internal approval process. So even no matter how large the business is, we need money as a push for drive for the project. But the thing is, can we depend on ourselves? We don't look at the area, the size of the area, like the area for the base camp. Since it is for tourism, for tourists to relax and enjoy life, is there any other way to help inspire people to have passion for the environment? We have the base camp.
We have coffee place in the base camp, and the packaging that we use are biodegradable plastics. And so it has specific time and temperature to degrade. But when you talk about the merit and the sin, that's actually a very good example, because at first we thought of reducing our cost by using plain plastic, but then when we started to think about it, we felt really bad because all those plastic cups, we use it all every day, 100 customers, 100 glass use. So that is why we try to choose this degradable packaging. So in our area, if they bring their own water bottles or tumbler in, we have a promotion to reduce the price, and this is it's like an incentive, whether it's plastic paper straw, paper plates. And indirectly, in our camp, this is a trail hub. We have restroom, we have shower room, and we don't charge them for that. So that is because we want people to exercise and they don't have to go back to their house to take a shower. So that's helps save the energy, the fuel. They can use the restroom and the showers that we have provided, and they can go directly to the office, or they can work in our space. So I think that stimulates them to exercise and reduce carbon indirectly as well. And another activity that we have like annually or twice a year is the marathons or the trailing. Of course it generates waste, but we have an activity that we collect waste in the trail around our coffee shop area. So we invite people to join the activity. The last time we had the activity, about 40 to 50 people participated, and if they collect more volume or they collect large waste, then they get price back. So it's kind of raise awareness, make them realize that whatever waste they generate during the activity, they have to take it all back. So Kun Kek, it might not be a quite appropriate question, but if environment is the trend, is that because it's the trend that you think you have to do? And you think that will be the future for you to find income? Is that why you do the base income, or how did it all started? Actually, it started because I love jogging, I love trailing, and like Kun Tik has already mentioned that as a conservator in ourselves, if we do the trailing, we have to always remember the right practice. And business is another aspect as well, and it meets my desire because I wanted to complete the loop that it's a province where you do trail, so we have to promote it. So this is trying to tell people that this is a rule and regulations, that if you want to do trail in the forest, in the woods, this is what you have to do. This is the best practice, and we are showing them what to do. So in the future, how are you planning the base camp?
In the future, I want the audience here, although you don't live in Chiang Mai, or no matter which trail you go to, if you come to Chiang Mai, I want to invite you to the trail, to our trail. If you want to have conservative tourism walking along the trail, I think that tourism in this way still has a bright future, and it supports sustainable tourism automatically. Pitik, once we travel with low carbon tourism, can you please talk about the starting point, which tells you that this is the tourism for low carbon tourism? I have gained a lot of things. I want to supplement what P. Cake just said. When we say that we want to explore nature and exercise, there would be a specific place. Actually, I myself enjoy the environment. I think that exercise in terms of journey, I want all the places in the capital and in upcountry for people to do exercise, even on the footpath. So the management of low carbon reduction can be reduced. So we have to flip back to the process. Of course, the process of my travel, I can enjoy the nature. I came up with many questions. I want all around me to happen. It's not that when we want to explore nature, when I want to see a lot of trees and forests, I have to travel to go to the natural place in national parks and others. Why don't we have everything around us to be natural and stay together with us? We talk about the end-to-end gas low carbon reduction. I want to trace back to the beginning when we start with setting out a journey to the end of our destination. In each process, we can be a conservationist with low carbon in all the process. Do I need more detail? Yeah, but I just want to know about your challenges as the private sector organization and businessman, a small businessman. As Pitik is the representative of individuals, as you are a traveler, is it necessary for you to use this path? What are your challenges? What are you trying to convey to people about the challenges? When we talk about this topic, people may think that something in the documentary is too heavy, is too hard to explore. So I want to do something lighter, to be like a variety program for people to gradually absorb the knowledge. It has nothing to do with the media of tourism, but all sectors, all organizations that are here today, including the cultivation of conservation, so that people would know more about this. So that's why I try to trace back to the educational system. What are your recommendations as a senior traveler to recommend to new travelers who wish to travel with low carbon? How should they get started? It's so easy. Nong Bai Tong, you can do it. Anyone can do it. But somebody might have forgotten something. For example, in the process of travel, you might forget some process. Some may have their own vehicles. Some may have their own cars. Did you check your car completely about the emission of carbon dioxide, including during your trip? You might forget that you travel from the capital city. There might be traffic jam and you have to start the engine all the time. And when you go to the petrol station, you may keep your engine on while the rest of people go out to do some shopping. All these little things can be helped. If you don't have very little children in the car, when you park the car, please stop the engine. Because if you make an observation, more than 50% of people in the petrol station would turn on their cars because they want to be in air-conditioned room. But if you stop the engine completely to do some shopping or to go to the restroom, it would take about 20 minutes. Everything is meaningful and it will consume energy. When we go to the beach, like Koh Chang or Samui Island, we would take the ferry to cross using the boat. When we go to the ferry center, everyone has to park their cars and there would be seats for people to relax. But usually people would start the engine and be in their own cars. I myself always stop the engine and open the window and take a rest, take a nap for 20 minutes, for example. But around me is full of fumes. Actually, there are regulations already. However, people may or may not do it. In reality, people should follow the guidelines. It's not simply about campaign. It has to have a clear regulations with clear penalties. This can help people to learn to adjust themselves. And this should be set as the standard for natural conservation.
So this is just a start that we can all start from ourselves. It doesn't have to, we don't need to rely on organization or corporate. It's just ourselves. If we know that, I really like your suggestion. It's really common sense about turning off our engine. Sometimes it happens to us as well. We think that, oh, it's only a little while, but short while. The definition is different for everybody, so we have to see whether it's really necessary that we have to turn on the engine, or choosing the transportation is very important. So anything that is possible, maybe we can shift to EV if possible, then we should do it. Well, what do you think? Well, I think it depends on your preference. Even whether it's EV or not EV, there are ways that we can look after the environment. It depends on us. When we talk about, we have to have the conscious, that's true. But I think it has to go together. For example, in some countries, they try to teach students in schools everything in the classroom, how to eat, their living, or before they come to school, after they finish school, the teachers will tell them and not teaching them just academically, but how to live in harmony in the society, which is also very important as well. Because when we teach them, when they're young, then they'll grow up with the right mindset. And so for me, I have been brought up teaching and living with nature. So I like and I'm passionate about conservatives. It's like having a boyfriend. We want to really love them. Like everybody, your fan club, they want to love you, understand you, and look after you. And I love everybody as well. So all the audience now are smiling. So I would like maybe come back from TAT first. For low carbon tourism, why is it so important? When we talk about tourism, it doesn't necessarily have to be low carbon tourism. Every kind of tourism, every kind of journey, any relaxation trip, you can always make it low carbon. Just like Kun Tik mentioned, actually is in every activity we do. The journey that starts from the home until we reach the destination and come back home, we can help reduce carbon in every activity, and it's not difficult to do. And like a representative from Sing Park has mentioned, that it could be an activity within the family. So maybe we have to consider or think where we can contribute. Waste segregation, everybody can do that. Or turn off the engine in the gas station or when you park. That is very easy. So we all have to put in our effort, and it's not difficult. Everybody now that the world is getting hotter and hotter, is global warming, is global boiling, and we know the cause. When we say global warming, the sector that is really affected is tourism, because when the nature change, the temperature change, the environment is worsening, it really affects tourism. So during COVID, the tourism stopped for 2 years. The environment had a break and it wasn't disturbed, so it come back to its richness again. And now we can see how valuable it is. But when the world has changed and being disrupted, everything's changed and it affects our daily life as well. And it's time that we all, and I mean everybody, have to realize this. Whether it's raising awareness in school, teaching in schools, or set up rules and regulations that everybody has to follow. And we need to realize and do it now, because if we don't do it now, the problem is here. And if we don't do anything, it's not just going to be global warming. People's life will be affected. In the future, how we can help mitigate those impacts. And the impact that are already happening, we have to compensate it maybe by doing reforestation. That will be solving the problems, but at the same time we have to mitigate and prevent by changing our behavior, everyone. So that is what I would like to ask all of you. It's your turn. It's you who can help reduce GHG emission. It's not just carbon, there's other substances as well. So you have to think which one you can contribute to reduce, and that would help promote a sustainable Thailand tourism. And can you please talk about your campaign? How can we join TAT campaign? So for TAT, okay, so when we talk about Sing Park, if you see STG, that means that Sing has environmental concern and they have an ecotourism in their management. Or let's say when you go to the 20 low carbon traveling route, you will be able to calculate or determine that in each journey, in each route, what should you do to help reduce carbon emission. And all these informations is very educational and it's very informative. And you can get all this information on our website. Thank you very much.
The same question to Sing Park. Why do you think this is important? And why do people have to visit Sing Park? I would say that our concept is the agricultural farm for tourism. If we want to do it sustainably, in my opinion, we have to look back to agriculture. How can you make your agriculture sustainable and have the least impact on the environment? Sing has the agriculture according to the standard of the world. Some speakers talk about GAP. GAP is one of the standards for Thailand, but Sing goes even further. We have Asian GAP and JGAP, and the highest is global gap. It's the standard well accepted by all the countries in the world. And we also have organic standard for the tea plant farm, for the tea farm. All these standards can help us manage the work to take care of the environment while doing agriculture successfully. If you wish to have agricultural tourism in line with the standard, the result will be beautiful, and it shows that it is managed with carefulness, and those who visit would be impressed. Sometimes when we have activities related to sports like marathon, community will go there on ordinary days, but the bananas that we give away to people is in line with the global gap. It's the standard of the global. It has more meaning than the bananas coming from our farm. We would like to pass on this idea to other people who would like to adopt the idea of agricultural tourism for Thailand to develop agricultural tourism in a sustainable manner that can be done successfully. This is the concept which is all true because Thailand is an agricultural country. If we keep working on this, the best way is to create sustainability for our own selves. I like this idea of passing on this idea to other people. What about you, PK? Can you please tell Gen S about how this is important?
So I would like all Generation S and the audience watching on the live streaming realize that whenever we buy anything home, for example, buying food, I'm starting small here, take your own container. At least you reduce the single-use plastic. Or when you go to a coffee shop, a lot of people drink, and now everybody drinks coffee. Take a tumbler. In Starbucks, you get a discount. And if you do that and show it to your family members, then they would follow it and make it that a habit within the family. The same when we go jogging or trailing, we don't carry plastic water bottles. We have our own bottles, so we don't increase the plastic waste. I want everybody to think how you can adjust and change slightly to make a difference. And so for our base camp trail hub is in Chiang Mai province. If you want to experiment or explore trailing, you can talk and get consultation from all our baristas there or joggers. And they won't run away while they're doing coffee, right? No. They will escort you and help you. So if you want to ask about the route or any information, please, you can ask any of our staff. They are all very knowledgeable about this. And as for Kun Tik, can you please leave the last message on how we can all become sustainable?
Participation in creating sustainability together in many ways. A lot. I usually talk about and look at the environment in a simple way. Don't make it too complicated. In every area that we live or we go, we would go back and look around to what extent, how much we care about everything around us, like the separation of the waste or the use of materials that can be recycled. It is one part. And another part is the agricultural land. Now is the end of rainy season and the beginning of winter is about the season for tourism. There might be some hindrances in some areas because some areas may be the season for the dry season. There might be soon 0.5 dust pollution, the burning of agricultural land. So we have to talk more about the participation of the reduction of burning. How can we eliminate pesticide or how can we make people live in harmony with forest? This is interesting. But I myself, what I can do is communication in the way that is easy to understand so that people can see things that they might not have a chance to have access to the area that is too remote to travel to. Navigator would work on this. Previously, we ended our role in doing a TV program. But next year, Navigator will return. We'll be back. Peter, you would like us to watch Navigator and follow you, right? The concept of Navigator is to follow our path. This is the first place that you will promote the return of Navigator program, right? Please give a loud applause to all the speakers. Nature is calling for me. This is true. It's all true. I believe that everyone who is watching us on site and online would get a lot of inspiration about the answer for the trend for low carbon tourism. Don't make it a trend. We should make it an ordinary thing in our ordinary life because it's all about merit and sin. It has to be supported by us and we need to create sustainability through tourism. No matter which level you are entrepreneurs, the tourism may be green tourism, adventure tourists, or natural tourists. You can create the trend for low carbon tourism. Please give a loud applause to all the four speakers. The director of TAT, Kun Jirawadi Punsap, the managing director of Sing Park Chiang Rai Jamkat, Kun Chawan Kongsap, the base camp owner, Kun Wadipak Powell, and the tourism influencer for the environment, and the owner of Navigator program, Kun Tik Jesarapon Pondi. Please give a loud applause to all the four speakers. Thank you so much.